there's a lot of information that comes out every week, and I'm glad sometimes you really don't have to do extensive research sometimes because you can't make this stuff up. Dennis is with me tonight. He's got things, as I've got some issues. And this is not, if you are an anti-president, this is going to be fun for you. If you're not,
get over it.
Get over it. Good point. Anyway, there's a lot to go over, but I received an email, and I just wanted to read this to you because this is interesting. So this is going to take a minute or two or three. Goodbye, Connecticut. It's just too expensive to operate here. Below, from a Torrington manufacturer who's been in business a long time. With the Litchfield Hills and Connecticut in our rearview mirror, as we move our 101-year-old manufacturing company to South Carolina, we are nostalgic, excited, and disappointed. We love Torrington and Connecticut, but not all the things the General Assembly and the governor have done to induce us to leave family and friends behind. After more than a century of manufacturing in Connecticut, we are not looking for handouts. We have paid our fair share, but enough is enough. Connecticut's high cost of doing business and its anti-employer attitude have finally driven us out. We are not moving for any government incentives. Consider these facts. We sold our 50,000 square foot building for enough money to buy a 100,000 square foot building, and still had enough money left to pay for the transport of 100 trailer loads of machinery and equipment to our new site. The property taxes on our big new facility in South Carolina are much less than those on our smaller former building in Connecticut. Our utility costs in South Carolina, especially for electricity, will be about a third of what we paid here, though our space will more than double. We are taking a third of our employees with us and paying them the same wages. With South Carolina's lower cost of living, it is as if they are getting a big raise. And we pay our new employees in South Carolina competitive local wages. These savings could no longer be ignored. At the same time, the constant hostility of the General Assembly, the governor, and the state agencies, particularly the State Labor Department, settled the matter against staying in Connecticut. Year after year, employers like us have to fight off efforts to expand state requirements for paid sick leave, increase the highest minimum wage in the nation to $15 an hour and more, require paid family and medical leave, impose unworkable restrictions on workforce scheduling, restrict our ability to talk to our employees and non-union organizing efforts. I take that back, about union organizing efforts. And of course, make us pay for every new investment policymakers think is a good idea. We have always believed that to attract the best employees, we need to be among the best employers. We have never paid minimum wage and have always offered our employees excellent benefits, including health insurance plans, paid vacation time, disability insurance, a 401k plan with employer matching contributions, profit sharing, and other time off based on individual needs. This goes on a little bit longer. So farewell to home, family, and friends. We have been forced to move to a place where we are welcome and wanted. Regrettably, it is no longer Connecticut. And this is Alan and Gerald Zordan own Borgson Universal Company in Torrington, which produces steering components and has operated in Torrington since 1914. So this is what part of Connecticut has continued to do to bring more and more businesses to this great state. It's throwing people out, and GE is still looking to move. And by the way, on the radio today, Governor Malloy was called the worst governor in the nation. So,
you done?
For this one.
You know, I don't understand this governor of ours, you have so many governors that are telling the president, we don't want Syrian refugees in our state.
You guys already have a vote.
Oh, I'll hold on to that thought. With me being old, that may go away.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are
Hey,
you?
Florida man!
Hey, how you guys doing up there?
Hey, you're missing all this great cold, Brian.
Well, I don't know. I should be there shortly. I'll have to record the show.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're on your way back right now?
Yeah, it's a little chilly where I am. It's 77 degrees right now.
So how was that first morning when you woke up and realized you weren't in Connecticut?
I'll tell you what. I felt just like Dorothy after she had landed in Oz.
So give me the lowdown on taxes down there.
Yeah, there's very little. I mean, you buy products, you're going to pay. You're paying a little bit more, I think, on the products that you buy. But there's no income tax, stuff like that, and things like gas prices stuff are reasonable. I don't think there's a heck of a lot of difference as far as what you pay at the stores, but it's still pretty good.
So what about your car? When you register your car, how do you pay taxes on that?
There's no car.
I haven't registered my car yet, Dennis. All right, and but I will say one thing. That's all right. My governor down here is pretty good. He's going to give me 30 days, and he's also going to keep the Syrian refugees out.
Excellent.
You don't pay property tax on motor vehicles down there.
Well, I heard you pay once when you buy the car. And that's
Oh,
it.
sales tax and whatever it is.
Oh, is it?
That's what it,
That's
Brian,
correct.
you have to wait for the spring and summer to really benefit from the good prices on food, because you can go, fruits and vegetables are really inexpensive in Florida.
Yeah, I've been to the two major food stores down here, the Winn-Dixie and Publix, and their food is pretty reasonable, and the vegetables seem, pretty good,
Yeah.
and it's comparable to what's up there. I don't buy any fruits. I've got lemons growing in my backyard, but I'm not
That's right.
Anyway,
How did the puppy fare with the trip?
had a tough time going down. He was with me coming back, and I gave him a little bit more room. So he's doing pretty good. He's a happy camper.
So how long you coming back for?
I'm going to come back and visit the family for Thanksgiving, or stay a few days, and just reconnect with everybody and just say hello.
You gonna be around next week, Brian?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
gonna be
should
around.
be. Yes.
You can come back on again if you like. Tell us how great it is down there.
All right. I would be happy to come on a show. I can't really tell you much down here because I can't even describe it. It would be like somebody going to the moon trying to describe what it was like there.
I can help you.
Come on. You can come on and rub it in.
Okay. It's
My-
very nice there. The people are nice.
Yeah.
And it's very nice. But listen, I know you guys got a show to do. I just wanted to check in. I told Dennis I call. And I just want you guys to have a good show, and I hope to see you soon.
Good.
We'll see you next week, Brian.
All right. Take
All right,
care.
later.
Take care.
That's Ray line 2.
Good evening. You're on.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Ray. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Dennis.
Ah, you remembered.
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ray?
Yeah.
Staying warm?
I want to wish you and Dennis have a nice Thanksgiving.
Well,
Thank you.
I hope you do too, Ray.
We're coming to your house, Ray.
No, I'm going to yours.
That was good. You come back pretty quick on that
You won't be coming to mine. We won't be there.
be.
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes,
Eric.
Ray. Yes.
I want to wish you and Dennis happy Thanksgiving.
Well, same to you, Ray. You take good care. And you going anywhere?
Out.
You going to be with your sister?
Yeah, I'm going to my sister's on Thanksgiving.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. You take good care, Ray.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, Ray.
Nice talking to you, buddy.
Nice talking to you too, my
My
friend.
buddies.
All right.
Have a good day, Ray.
Later, Ray.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, good evening, you're on.
Hi, Eric. Dennis, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just want to let you know I called the good governor's office today, complained, I guess along with many others,
Yeah.
about bringing in any Syrian immigrants to Connecticut. Where
Yeah.
they can't even place the homeless people they have. Where are they putting these people, I asked them. I want to know where they're putting them because I want to go there too. Where's my housing? Where's all these homeless people going to go? They got room for these Syrians somewhere? Let's hear about where they're putting them.
Well, not only do they have a place, not only are they going to have a place for them to live, they're going to get all kinds of, they're going to get money, they're going to get clothes, they're going to get food, they're going to get
Right.
all this stuff.
That's right.
No wonder you want to go there.
You know, and you know, it's,
what
it
I
would,
told them was, you know, I am a homeless person, Dennis. I met you on the street there one day. I
oh
told
yeah,
you.
yeah, okay.
And I've been complaining about this stuff right along. There's many homeless people don't qualify for anything because they're not disabled, they're not 65 or older, and they don't have children. And they're homeless, and they don't have jobs. And they're not addicts, okay?
Yeah.
And most of them are women, like
Oh.
myself, that are like over the age of 50. Their children are grown, okay?
Yeah.
And why are they going to give people that weren't even born in this country, worked all their lives in this country, lost their jobs from layoffs or whatever? It might be the case.
Why?
They can't house us. How are they going to house people from another country? As far as I'm concerned, they're illegal immigrants they're bringing in. And I'm not the only one that's angry about this. I don't know how you feel
Oh,
about
you
it, but
trust
I'm
me,
angry.
you're not. You're not.
Okay? And there's many people that are angry, and the governor needs to listen to the people and stop
Well,
making decisions and going with the flow here. This is like lambs to the slaughter. We're going to have, I'm sorry, but from what I understand, most Middle Eastern men have no regard for women, and they're going
No,
to
they don't.
they're going to be in this state of Connecticut treating us like garbage, us women, and raping us and whatever. I don't care what they say. They look down at women, and
Good
they're going to be
points.
rough with women if they get a hold of them and stuff. I don't want those men up here in Connecticut. I don't want them here.
Well, how many
Especially
of these?
homeless. Being homeless, you're so vulnerable to so many things happening to you.
Well, you know what? How many of these men have multiple wives? That's the other thing.
How many,
If
how many of
women
these
have,
men? How many of these men got rid of their wives because they were sick of them?
right?
Well,
Well,
the way they want to and got away with it. They get hung and beheaded and acid thrown in their face or whatever. Anything goes over in that country.
well, you're right. And the thing is, if the women have such little respect for themselves and don't fight back, nothing is ever going to change. The other thing is, they don't assimilate. They refuse to assimilate to American culture. And if you're not
Right.
going to assimilate to us, they
That's
shouldn't
right.
be allowed
They get-
back in.
I wanna say
all
something.
These men up here, let me tell you what, there's going to be more domestic violence than you could shake a stick at. And they're not going to be able to keep up with that stuff. Never mind people that are homeless, and especially our veterans that served in this country. Shame on them that they're going to put these people up before. Why can't they secure an area of Syria and keep those people right where they are and keep them secure? If they're going to have
It'd be a lot
forces
cheaper.
and stuff over there.
Why don't you
Why don't they
call?
have a secured area of Syria cleared out for these people so they can be comfortable?
When you called the governor's office, what did you get any response?
The response was, well, we don't know where we're going to put them. This is just the first stage. And I said, I want answers. I want answers. Where are you putting them? Because wherever it is that you're putting them, I want to know
Do you
where
know,
it is
I
first.
would bet anything the governor is going along with bringing them in here because it means federal money.
It's
That's
gotta
why
be
he's
some
doing
kind of
it.
a oil deal.
So all we are to the governor of this state is, we're nothing to him as long as whatever he's doing is bringing money into the state. And
Well,
even if
he's
it's,
up against
like
it
you
because-
brought up some really, really great points. Probably points that most people haven't even thought of. And right now, you're probably scaring the hell out of a lot of people. But they're
Well, they
points
need to
that
pay
need to be
attention.
brought out.
These men are coming in here, and when they bring them into Connecticut, they have no regard for women. We're just dookie under their feet, and us women are really going to be vulnerable to these these men how they're going to treat us and stuff. Not just the fact that they're going to be taking up housing that they should be giving to the people that are here already, especially our veterans that served.
Yeah, but you cannot just, as much as I blame the governor, because I really think the governor is so out of touch with anything, you have to call up Blumenthal, Murphy, and Courtney, because they're all for this. Murphy and Blumenthal have done everything what Obama has wanted. They cannot think for themselves,
right now, the way I'm thinking,
and whatever he wants, he gets.
Malloy needs a little mustache and a freaking swastika because he's just going along with what he wants, not what the people want.
Well,
I'm sick of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Hey, you'd be safe. Yeah,
It's-
I met her the other day by my house. She was visiting some people by my house, and she was telling me the story how she always listens to us and stuff like that. And I asked her if she ever calls in, and she said, well, you know, I was surprised to hear from her. But she's around, I think, somewhere in her 50s. She lost her job. She was living out of her car for a while. She's still kind of homeless, staying with friends. And you know, this is where I was going with this before she called, and she just backed me up, is they're bringing these people into this state. We have homeless galore in this state. We have veterans that have nothing in this state. And these people who I think they're doing something good, that, you know, they're going to get praises or they're going to get pats on the back if they go to the pearly gates for what they're doing because, you know, oh, you're being so humane and all this other stuff. How can people go to bed at night knowing they're doing that when there's so many in this state that died? You know, there's people that have died so that they could have this right to do this. And there's so many of these veterans alone in this state that have nothing, that don't even have jobs. So for these refugees to come into this state and they're going to get jobs, or they're just going to get paid to sit around and do nothing, if they get any jobs, they're going to be getting jobs that are going to be taken away from people that are already living here, that are trying to get on their feet, and they're going to have whatever progress they've made swept right out from
How are
under
they going to
them.
get jobs when they don't even know English?
I don't know. I don't know this, and nobody knows this.
I don't understand. You know, you're bringing up.
And she's bringing up good points about the way they feel about women. Women are not, and you said something just a minute ago about if the women don't stand up for themselves or whatever, you got to realize where they are in Syria or any of them countries out there, if you stand up for yourself as a woman, you're dead.
That's right.
Or worse.
But here, you know, they don't follow our laws. They want Sharia law. If you want Sharia law, get the hell out of this country.
And if they commit a crime, you're going to get a lawyer that's going to say, well, you know, this is what they're used to. Well, this is what they do.
But they can go home. The lawyer should be thrown in jail for putting up this kind of argument. You know, the other thing is, I am working with a Muslim person right now, and you couldn't have the nicest people and family.
There's a lot of
this
them.
Is not, so
very
this is
nice.
not all of them.
Very
but
nice.
Everybody out there needs to know, there are over 1 billion Muslims in the world. And it's been
they're growing at the fastest rate of anybody.
Like 10 to 25% of them are radical. It's time to put a stop in this. What Obama said about, we've had Muslims here since the country started. You know, get real. What have the Muslims brought to society? What have they done to cure cancer or anything else that so many other people have brought before them? Because
I'm sure that they've brought stuff to the table.
Yeah, terrorism.
No, not just terrorism. Jeez, come on. I mean, they've done some things in history that I'm sure have contributed to the world, to the civilized world. They're not all like these fools.
Fools? Well, boy, you being kind. Hello, you're on.
I'm trying to be realistic.
Hi, I guess I want to ask question number one is, did your great-grandparents or grandparents or whatever always live in this country? Are not most of us in the United States immigrants from some other country?
Did your relatives come here with the intention of wanting to hurt us?
No, they did not. And how are you going to classify every person that's in Syria that they're going to come here to hurt us?
Well, let me ask you something. Since you've asked us that question, I happen to know where my family came from. So, and I've got backup for that too. However, I've got a paper here, plus from all the news reports, 25 states have already said no. So why should Connecticut say yes? If you can vet every single one of these people, then I may not have an objection. But you know what? It's time to take care of the people in this country, because...
How did you get here?
What?
How did you get here?
I was born here.
Your relatives were immigrants also.
I was born here.
If you go back into history, we all came here from somewhere. I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
But we came here to create a new country. We came here to be part of a new country. When my grandparents came here, they came here to be part of America. You spoke your own language in your house, and if you spoke it outside of your house, your grandmother would smack you in the back of the head.
Absolutely.
These are the kind of things that happen then. Now, this is not what's happening now.
You came here to be free. You came here to assimilate to the American way of life. The people that are coming from the Middle East today, or even a lot from other countries, they have no desire to assimilate to us. All they want is their handout.
I want to ask you a question.
How do you know that?
Oh, come on. Where are you living?
You know that every person that's going to come into this country that's a refugee from Syria or wherever, any child, any woman is going to come here.
Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the pictures of the people coming in?
They're already here.
Are you actually serious?
Yes, I am.
I mean, for crying out loud, the people who have, it's been said for I don't know how long now, that all we do is allow these people coming in illegally, and nobody does anything about it. We have a lot more than 11 million illegals in this country. And the people who have come here legally are also complaining that, wait a minute, why are we being put on the back burner when we've been waiting for years to become legal citizens? We're productive and we're doing what was right. But these people are coming here illegally.
Totally illegal to stop them?
What?
Have you read that the states do not have a right to refuse them to come in here?
No, they do not have a right to refuse them, according to Obama.
Well, I don't care who it's according to. It's still out there that we cannot refuse them.
We can't refuse them because it's been prevented by law to refuse them. But all these governors, especially in the South, have said they don't want them.
So let me ask you.
A lot of them are saying no now.
Okay, they can say no all they want, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Caller, let me ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Have you seen the pictures of the Syrian refugees coming into the country?
Not yet.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Have you seen pictures of the Syrian refugees going into these different countries and ours?
Yes, I have.
Now, what do you see when you look at them pictures?
What do I see? I see men, women, children.
You see men, women, you see women and children in them?
Yep.
Do you see a lot of women and children in them?
I don't know. I don't count.
Well, next time you look at a picture, and I'm not trying to be flip here, next time you look at the pictures, the majority of the faces you're seeing in them pictures are young to middle-aged men, single men. Now, we had a caller just called that brought up some very good points about what Syrian men, their idea of women, how they treat women, there's no respect for women. These folks have their own way of living, and they have their own way of treating their women. Do you want more of that in this state? Do you want to take the chance of what could happen to the women in this state? I mean, it only takes one Syrian that wants to blow something up to get into this state. So what do you do?
Well, see, I guess I'm nuts. But
no, you're not nuts. You're not nuts.
We have had plenty of people in the United States who have blown people up. They weren't from Syria. They were from Oklahoma. They were from wherever. There are people that are going to hurt you no matter what country you come from. So what I am saying is you cannot bunch up a bunch of Irish people, which I happen to be, and say that they're no good. Many years ago, my grandparents and great-grandparents were looked upon as scum of the earth. I don't consider myself scum of the earth. My husband has worked for 39 years. I worked all my life. We own our own home. So I'm just trying to make people understand that not all Syrian people...
Well, we're not
I
saying
didn't
that.
say all Syrian people, but it didn't take all of the immigrants going into France to do what happened. It took a couple of them, and that's what they're scared of. Why do we have? Why can't there be a safe haven in Syria and put these people where? Why don't they go back to their own countries and fight for their own countries?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, and why didn't you go back to your country and fight for
I was born here.
You were
We wanted a better life.
See, the difference is when you go down that road is our parents came here, all grandparents came here. They wanted to be Americans. That was their number one goal, to be Americans.
Yeah.
When it came time to fight for this country against their own country, they went back and fought.
Exactly.
They fought because they knew what their country was doing was wrong.
The people today coming to this country are not going to fight for our country. They don't have the allegiance to the United States that Dennis's family or my family came here for. We wanted to be free. They chose to come here. The people who are coming here today are not choosing to come here. They're being resettled.
They're bringing their own country with them here. They're bringing all the problems that they've had in their country, and they're bringing them here, and they want to be in their own little communities. They don't want to be involved with anything. And it gets to the point in some towns in the United States where Sharia law, there was one town, I think Missouri, I don't know if it was there, but they elected a council of all Muslim, and Sharia law is their goal. Do you want Sharia law in New London?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Oh. Are you Muslim by any chance?
No, I'm a Catholic.
And you want Sharia law?
And my husband fought in Vietnam. So you know what?
Well, tell him I said thank you for his service.
Well, I will. And he has, he's done a wonderful job country and this proud man.
You know, Carla, I want to give you credit. You got a great heart. It sounds like you got a great heart. And I hope that I'm wrong and that you're right. You never live to regret this.
I absolutely pray every night I go to bed that I don't regret it. But I've got to do what I feel is right.
Well, that's good.
And voice my opinion, in my opinion.
And you're absolutely right, caller. It is your opinion, and you have every right to your opinion.
Thank you.
You're certainly welcome.
Hang up and say good night.
Thank you very much
for calling. That was a good call.
It was.
I can understand what she's coming from.
I'm not sure if she was being facetious about wanting Sharia law or not.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that see Sharia law as a good thing, depending on what version of it. I mean, there's all kinds of different versions. I mean, the extremist Muslims out there that want to kill us, or extremist terrorists. I mean, it could be other than Muslims involved in ISIS, which there is, have their own take on Sharia law. And then you have Muslims that have come from when the religion first started to now, and they've civilized it to some extent, that have a different view on what Sharia law is. Just like with the Catholics and the Christians in our country that have their own take on the Bible.
Very true. Good evening, you're on. Thank you for holding.
Hi, guys. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Eric. How you doing tonight?
How you
Good.
doing?
How are you doing? Can you speak a
Very
little
hot
louder,
topic,
please?
obviously. I only came in about the last 10, 12 minutes, and I've heard some of your interesting callers. I won't stay long. I just have a quick comment. I know it's different states. Other countries are taking these refugees in. But one thing we have to start realizing on is we don't even take care of our own veterans. And look what we've done to seniors going into next year. Those on Social Security aren't even getting a cost of living increase. 1 in 5 Americans are hungry in this country, and we're worried about taking in 20 to 110,000 refugees over the next 3 years. And I'm going to let it go at that because I know I'm preaching the choir when it comes to you guys.
No, you're not preaching to the choir, because there's a lot of people who actually agree with you. I would have no problem taking in other people's problems if we could take care of our own problems first.
But what makes the most common
Thank you,
sense to
caller.
me is, some of the senators or whatever are talking about this, I forget which ones, but instead of bringing all them young men into our country or any other countries, put them in Saudi Arabia, put them in someplace, build a safe city in Syria, and put these people there and let them have their own country and help them keep their country and keep them safe.
Absolutely.
It's got to be a lot cheaper.
Well, but
You know-
they don't want them.
Well,
That's
we
the other
don't
thing.
want them either. Well, some people do.
Obviously, some people do. But the other thing that's going on is that the countries that have taken an enormous amount of refugees are starting to look at what happened in Paris, because they know it's going to happen. ISIS has already said that, and they've already put people into these communities. You don't know who's with them or not. And then today or yesterday they said our goal is to bring down Washington.
Well, ISIS has told us that we will infiltrate your country through refugees. They already said that. And like you said, there's certain cities they have already said that they're going to get next. Washington, D.C. is one of them. Boston's another one. New York's another one. Can you imagine the carnage that could happen in New York if they just blew up subways?
What is it going to take for this president to realize?
This president doesn't care.
I know, I know. And that's what's moronic about the whole situation. He doesn't care.
We got another call. We're rocking.
Good evening, you're on. This
Hey,
is
guys.
going to be fun today.
We kind of got disconnected. I was kind of finishing up. I mean, I know you guys are concerned about this terrorist thing and all this other, but you got to look at the other thing. We're finally, in the last few months, coming around as an economy. People are going back to work. When you guys were talking about your families came over, my families came over, a lot of things they had to prove before they could even step foot off of Ellis Island. Did they have a sponsor, and did they have a form of employment before they came into this country?
That's true.
We're about to take thousands of people in with our own economy that's struggling, and they're going to be on the burden of you, me, and every taxpayer because our government's made the decision to pick up the tab for them, pick up the tab like we did for the refugees that came from Vietnam. This is not the first time our country has done this.
No.
And why do you think that a lot of, during this past election, a lot of things changed? And I'm talking about 2014 and then even just recently, because people are tired of the policies of the current administration. That's what one of the explanations has been. Is it the right one? I'm not sure. Do I agree with it? Partially. However, I'm tired of these policies. I want America to be what America was supposed to be.
On a separate note, recently within the last few months, and I don't know if you gentlemen have had the chance to look at your uninsured motorists on your automobile policy, because our governor in his infinite wisdom decided to give illegals driver's licenses that don't have to have insurance. All of us that pay insurance for auto in this state have seen our uninsured motorist insurance double with most insurance companies because of that. And it's not just this state that's done it. Washington has done it to the point, Washington State, that people no longer in that state can use a driver's license as a form of ID to get on an airplane because of illegals having driver's licenses.
On that point, if you look at the states and the governors of them states that are behind giving out licenses, you'll find that most of them, if not all of them, are Democrats. And And this all boils down to one thing, and I don't care if I piss off Democrats, because I'm getting kind of tired of it, is that this is all to get the vote. This is all it is. It's to maintain power and to get the vote to have continuous power. These, you have people say that, well, if they have a driver's license, they can't vote. But they will vote. And the people that are at the stations that are Democrat, I would bet my last dollar are just going to let it
Voting or
slide.
whatever, you got a good point, Dennis. The thing is that a lot of this has to do with the fact, give me a second to catch my breath here, is that all this that's going on is the government that makes the laws doesn't have to abide by the laws for themselves. If all of them in Washington, if all of them in our state government had to live by the same laws they impose on us, the same health care,
Well, they're
the
supposed
same
to.
rules and regs, you can damn well bet they would think twice before they pass something.
You're right, absolutely right, and they don't follow that. And this is another reason why Donald Trump, Ben Carson are doing so well, because people are fed up with Washington about not following the laws themselves that they put on us. So, and by the way, just to let you know, it's not just the insurance of the car insurance. I received a bill from my, I had some blood work done, I guess 6 weeks ago or whatever it was, and I got a statement saying I had not met my deductible, and the bill, it was going to be $25. First of all, it wasn't a bill. I have no idea who to send the money to. Second of all, my deductible now is $4,000.
Sounds like you have an HSA.
It's through my wife's insurance. It's a United Healthcare,
Teachers.
and it's ridiculous. I can't afford
Usually
$4,000 deductible.
Usually a high deductible in today's times with health insurance means you have a health savings account. That's what an HSA is.
Okay, well, you know what?
A lot of companies are starting to move that way because our government, that was another thing that, besides pensions, an employer provided for Americans in this country. They were the ones that paid your health insurance for working, and now the burden's been more on the worker to cover themselves. And now our own governor is cutting aid to the hospitals, yet let's bring all these people in. Well, where are all these uninsured people going to go when they need something? And the hospitals are already burdened now. You're going to cut millions of dollars to them, and the whole logic of this thing doesn't work. The numbers. I understand where that woman's coming from, with the Pope coming to the country, and where we got to help other people. But in the same token, we got to start looking out for our own in this country. And I'll leave on that note, guys.
Thank you. It would be about time if we did start taking care of our own country instead of being. I'm not against helping people. I mean, I do it every day of my life, and I've been doing it for 40 years, and I've been working since I've been 15 years old. So I'm willing to work. I wish a lot of other people would be willing to work. I know the people out there who want to work can't find jobs. There are people out there who just want to keep their hands out, and that's what I object to. The other thing that bothers me is how come every time something changes with any insurance situation, car, medical, whatever homeowners, the insurance companies never suffer. They always make untold millions of dollars.
That's, you mentioned that, and the same thing with Obamacare and insurance companies. It's a known fact that if insurance companies lose money because of Obamacare, the government will reimburse them for the money they lost. So they're never losing. They're never losing.
No, they never lose. But the other thing is that there are less people who are signing up today than there was last year. This third year is abysmal, and it's going to get worse.
Everything's going to go up in price.
Everything. So,
what was I going to say?
Oh, the Syrian situation. Does you want to stay on that?
No, but not right now. We can always
just the
come
fact
back
that
to this.
25
it's just not the right
governments have
time.
said no. It's
Yes.
not. It's not the right time.
And we already have Syrian refugees in here from a map I saw. We have them in New Haven, over 50 of them, according to this map, in Bristol. I don't know why Bristol. I don't even know anything about Bristol.
I've been to Bristol.
Is it like
many
New
times.
Haven?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's no.
Better? Worse?
Better.
Better?
Better. But
the main point is people that push for this stuff, push to bring people in like this, and you see a lot of actors, a lot of politicians on a certain side. I don't understand how they can do this and not look at the people that are suffering in our country. The lady talked about, bringing in women and children, bringing them into this country. How can you look at them? Well, how can you look at women and kids? One of the women called today. She's homeless. She's just barely getting by. And where down the road did these folks that are willing to bring all these people in, and some of them help pay for it, where did they lose that connection with their own country?
That's what and it was brought up on radio today and that why, if you're being brought into this country and you want to come to this country and be free, would you subjugate yourself to your old ways of life? You wanted to be free. It was brought up to me from a client, said, wait a minute, why do the women cover themselves up? That's not our way. And somebody said they were in the bathroom, and a Muslim woman came in, fully clothed, all you could see with her eyes, and she got scared. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't be scared or it's wrong to be scared, but you don't know, is it a man coming in there? Is it a woman coming in there? If these people want to come into this country, why can't you assimilate to us? We didn't ask you to come into this country.
Well, I don't understand why, if you're leaving a country that's
so bad,
that you would want to come here and start your own little country,
right?
The same as what you left. The only reason I can think of that you would want to do that is because you can have your own little country here, and you can get all the perks that our country has to offer.
That's another thing. That's got to stop.
Well, that's what it is.
Really
why
come
else?
To this country and you don't get a handout just because you come to this country. I think you have to.
And another
work for
thing
it.
that upsets me is we're doing our country's doing all this stuff, and yet the people that are already here, that have come from other countries, that are waiting patiently to become citizens of our country, are waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're getting kicked to the back of the line, and they're still waiting and waiting, and we're taking billions of dollars and saying, hey, come on over here, we'll take care of you. Make sure you vote for us, though. Remember who's taking care of you.
And that's all they care about is the votes. And until we get rid of people like Murphy and Blumenthal,
he was a real disappointment to me.
Who don't give a crap about Connecticut. All they care about is doing whatever Obama wants. It's time to turn the tide.
What are they going to do when he's gone?
Well, they're hoping.
Who are they going to follow then?
They're hoping for Hillary.
Oh, you got
another mess. All right, let's go on to something else.
All right, let me bring something up real quick. It has to do with New London. You all remember New London, right? Yeah, we're getting ours too pretty soon. Okay, I got this from Pay Curtin, and it says, you are invited to the swearing-in ceremony and reception for the New London Mayor Michael Passero and City Council and Board of Education members Monday, December 7th at 7 p.m. at the La Luna Restaurant, Holiday Inn, 35 Governor Winthrop Boulevard, New London, Connecticut. Please RSVP, which I won't be doing.
They're going to do the swearing in at La Luna?
Yes,
the
not the God Theater.
Hall?
Now, can someone please call and tell me, before Finizio became mayor and had to do it at the Guard Theater because so many people were going to show up, that where did they used to get sworn in before?
City Hall.
City Hall, on the first Monday of
December.
And they got sworn in and they went right to work.
Right.
So who's paying for this? That's my new kick now. Who's paying
for this?
Who's paying for this?
Right.
I don't want to pay for this. I mean, I like some of these people, but go back to City Hall and get sworn in and get to work.
Like it's supposed to be, that's right.
So they're taking a council meeting.
Yeah.
And they're taking it, and they ain't going to do any council business.
They're
supposed to do council business.
Maybe the Democratic Party will pay for this.
They should.
Yes.
I mean, it's all Democrats anyways. So people out there, I don't know about you, but this pisses me off. It should upset you also.
This is just another way
And in the
of
charter, it
wasting our
doesn't say
money.
that, you know.
Right. All right, so just to let you know, more for local situation, come out and support. Oswegatchie is having their holiday arts and crafts show this Saturday. I think it's 10 to 3, 10 to 4, whatever, at the Oswegatchie Elementary School. That's Waterford. Then, the next day, St. Joseph's in New London is having their holiday show. And that, I think, is like 10 to 3, 10 to 4. So come out and support both of those places. They need the support, and they want to. You should be supporting local businesses and local shows.
All right, I went to a council meeting last night, and it was the last one of the regular council. And one of the things on there, I spoke, and I was, everybody that got up before me spoke, they had all nice things to say. So I got up to speak, and I told everybody I'm not going to be anybody's favorite person after this little speech, which I'm kind of getting used to. So there was two things I brought up. First of all, before I get to the mayor, which is an issue in itself, I brought up the fact that they auctioned off two properties in New London, 18 Walden Avenue and 11 Holmes Street, and they were bought. And I forget, one was more than the other. I forget what they paid. They didn't pay much. I think the most maybe was $6,000 for the most expensive one. Okay, so now I look at the agenda, and they're talking about abating the taxes that are owed on these houses to whoever bought them. So I'm thinking to myself, why would they do that? You go to an auction, you buy a house, you take care of everything else. So they're saying, well, we own the houses, so we can abort the taxes. So one house, the amount of taxes they wanted to abort was basically $3,500. The next one, let me make sure I get it right. Come on, paper.
That's what they paid, $3,500?
No, that's what the amount of taxes they want to let go away. The city doesn't want
Why
to.
isn't the money that they paid for the house part of that money go for the taxes?
I don't know. The other one they want to abate is over $30,000. So I said, you're talking over $35,000. Well, I don't know about you guys, but $35,000 could do a lot of other things. They bought the houses cheap, and now you want to just throw the taxes away. Why? They bought the houses. It comes with the deal. $35,000 could go to help some policemen. It could go to help the firemen.
Right.
It could go to help children. It could go for a lot of
Homeless.
things.
Yes.
Homeless. So they just sat up there, and they kind of looked at me funny. And then the finance director said, I don't know how that got on the agenda. It wasn't meant to be on the agenda. We're going to bank $51,000 out of this deal. That's what's important. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, where the hell $51,000 come from? That was never a figure in play. So Mike says, well, this isn't done. This is too early for this, yada, yada, yada. And
So this is just more cronyism.
And it's the same thing with the Lighthouse
Yeah.
Inn. I mentioned
Yeah.
3 minutes. All right, let me get to the mayor real quick. I'm sorry. What happened with that is that the mayor is entitled to $1,000 a year for 4 years when he leaves office. That's his medical, whatever. He wants to give that back to the city and have the city pay in full for the medical benefits for him and his spouse till 2016 of June.
6 months.
Yeah, so my thought is, you realize what can happen in 6 months? Why should we pay that money? I mean, you could have an operation come up that's going to cost $200,000, and we're going to pick up the tab. I don't know what you get when you leave your job. When I leave my job, I get
Nothing.
2 weeks pay
No, I don't
and a
even get-
month
no.
worth of benefits.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we have less than 2 minutes. Just a couple of things. Made in the USA, and I'll go on to this for next time too, but Ace Hardware, made in the USA. Very encouraging, read all the way to the bottom. Look at Ace Hardware for things that are made in the USA. Costco sells Goodyear wiper blades for almost half the price that you will pay on the outside, and they are made in the USA. Unfortunately, our politicians and top CEOs have pushed for trade to China and Mexico for years, so Americans are now out of work. Did you know there are no electric coffee makers made in the U.S.? That the only kitchen appliances made in the U.S. is Viking. This information came from a report by Diane Sawyer. Hopefully this has changed or will change soon. Except that KitchenAid is made in the United States. That I do know.
We got to touch on that thing about the pork or something.
The pork?
Where they
yes. Didn't know that Hallmark cards were made in China.
They are?
Yes. That is also why I don't buy cards at Hallmark anymore. They are made in China and are more expensive. Buy them at the Dollar Tree, 50 cents each, and made in the USA. I'm going to go into more of Made in the USA next week too, but people, just think about who you're voting for and who you even would consider. You want first-class liars, and you're tired of politicians. That's why non-politicians are doing so well this year.
And if you want jobs in this country, who's the best man qualified for that? Mr. Trump. That's my opinion.
Have a